Hello everybody and welcome back to World of Warships Legends. My name is Spartan Elite 43 and tonight I bring you a rare treat. A game in the new legendary tier battleship for the French. The Bourgogne. Now, I know what you're thinking. Well, Spartan, why are you playing the Bourgogne? Everybody's playing the Bourgogne. Well, I'll be honest. I don't think I gave this thing a fair shake. So I wanted to take it out, run a bunch of games in it, and see what happened. Needless to say, despite the fact that I still think that the guns are kind of underwhelming, like I feel like the Jean Bart, okay? These supposedly have the same guns as like Jean Bart Richelieu, right? I feel like the Jean Bart can Citadel at pretty much any range. This thing, I've been struggling to hit Citadels even at medium range for like most battleships. And I've noticed that this thing struggles penetrating any sort of belt armor at all at legendary tier. So superstructure, bow side plating, and upper side plating are where you want to be aiming these guns. Don't go for the home run unless you're very close, because more often than not, you're going to be disappointed. Now, one of the good things about the Bourgogne is it has ridiculously good ability to move around the map undetected, get into a crossfire position, and ruin the enemy. And when you can do that, and then you have the reload booster on top of that, you get 2 reload boosters for these guns, and these guns are very accurate. You get 2 reload boosters, and you can absolutely change the course of the battle in 1 or 2 salvos, if you can get those crossfires. Now, right off the bat, you're going to notice that I am taking a long flank. And right about now, we go ahead and we hit the engine boost. Now, watch what our speed goes up to here. I just want to keep an eye on that. I've never actually paid attention to what the top speed of this Bourgogne is, and I know we're turning currently, so it's going to reduce our speed a little bit here. But we should get a nice little straight line sprint through this next gap. And that's why I was saving the engine boost, because I want to get to this next island so that I have the crossfires. You can use the edge of the next island for a ridiculous crossfire if the enemy do what they're about to do. I didn't want to fire right away because I didn't want to get detected, so while I do have a few targets here, mainly the Marlborough, the other negative for this thing is that it doesn't quite have the range that other battleships do, but it's not terrible range, it's just not quite as much as you'd expect. But yeah, we go ahead and take a shot at the Marlborough, expecting to not get spotted, but unfortunately we do get spotted. But we get a shot out on the Marlborough and we absolutely chunk him. We know that the Marlborough doesn't really have much armor, especially if it over-angles. He's lucky to not get sent back to port. Now, he wasn't quite that broadside, but it's one of those times where you're like, okay, I'm pretty much salivating. Now, here, you're going to see me go ahead and take a shot over the island like I was saying. So this is the spot that I was telling you guys about. This little spot right here, this island, you can get some nasty crossfires on the enemy if they like to sit still. Now, the Marlborough pushing up is actually kind of an issue for me because he's going to spot me. And initially, it looked like he was going to turn back inside, and I was like, okay, good. He's going towards our destroyer. But no. He turns back outside, and there's a whole bunch of torpedoes headed for him. And so we're going to go ahead and wait, take a shot at the superstructure, and I believe we're going to go ahead and hit the reload booster here, too, because I wasn't sure that he was going to die to torpedoes. And we're going to kind of use our first reload booster to try to get rid of this man before he triggers one of those super heals that we know and love. So, yeah, right about now, yeah, you can see, I'm like, okay, let's just get rid of this guy. I don't want this guy to just suddenly regain half his hit points. All right, he's a problem. So we go ahead, we punch him, get rid of him. And there's the Citadel. So we get our first blood. We're going to go ahead and move up. And now we've got those crossfires that you know and love. And we're also going to go ahead and start moving in. Look at this Mino right now. This Mino, he knows what's up. He knows what's coming. Everybody in the match probably looking at him right now. You get lit up in a Mino, everybody going to be looking at you because you're like guaranteed damage. And he almost got death struck by whoever just hit him. And then, of course, we land several shells on target. And suddenly the guy's not looking very happy anymore. Now, what happens next can only be described as an absolute travesty. This Republique, I am just salivating. I'm like, oh my god, I've got the shot. And, wait for it, blink, he's just gone. Really? Really? That's the moment the guy disappears? Why is it always right as I get loaded? So I go ahead and I settle for the Alaska, who's angled slightly away. We aim up high just in case he tries to turn out, and didn't quite lead him enough here, but we do get one Citadel on him. So we are starting to get some good hits. We're up to 60,000 damage. And I think my maximum damage I ever had up to this point was like 189,000 or something like that. Wasn't a crazy good game. It's not a bad game, and I don't have bad games in this ship. I will say that about this ship. I don't really have bad games. And I don't go around spamming HE like certain other people do. Just saying. I tend to stick with the AP. Now, the good news is I did change up my commander, so I am running the Azure Lane Dunkirk commander, which means I do have the ability to switch shell types when needed. So running HE wouldn't be a bad idea sometimes, but in this particular game, we did have a lot of broadsides. And you're going to see this shot in particular where I'm like, okay, well, I know how this ends. We're going to blap the crap out of this GK. We're going to have a lot of broadsides here to shoot because these guys have overextended and they did not realize that they had a freaking Burgonia behind them. We're also going to go straight at this freaking Mino. Mino is not really a threat to us unless he goes ahead and stacks his torpedoes. But look at these battleships, man. I didn't get much out of the first shot, so we go ahead and go for the Yami, and I'm salivating. Like, you get these kind of shots at this range with most other battleships, that's Citadel territory. But because Burgonia just doesn't have quite as much penetration, or maybe it just struggles to get through the belt armor. I mean, we're still chunking people, we're just not getting the big hits that we're looking for. You'll notice that I start having to aim for, like, softer spots on the ships. And that's when the Mino decides to lose his smokescreen. And it's at this moment he should know that he's screwed. There's nothing he can do here. All he's trying to do at this point is flip his ship around and use his torpedoes off the other side since he missed miserably the first time. So as soon as we get our guns on target and get it loaded, he's done, and he knows it. So here he goes, and pop goes the weasel. He's done. Now we're going to continue our turn. We were already turning hard to the right, so we're going to continue that turn. Trying to fight our rudder and then go back the other direction is a recipe for getting torpedoed. So we want to continue that turn. Don't fight it. Just let the turn happen. And now, we're angled relatively well against the other battleships. But the funny thing is, everybody underestimates the freaking Burgonia. The enemy is just suddenly going to stop shooting at me. And I can't tell you why, other than the fact there's a cruiser right here. Maybe they just like, oh, we'll shoot the cruiser. But, yeah, this cruiser is going to get all of their attention. At least for the moment. At least until I start putting the numbers on these guys. Like, people will just stop shooting me at the dumbest times. Like, these guys still over-angled. At least the GK is in the back. So you can see I'm shooting over the top of the Yami to focus the guy that's giving me the easiest angle to do the most amount of damage quickly. So we're trying to get rid of the GK's hit points. We can't really damage the Yami at this angle. So we're just farming the GK. We're going for that bow side plating, trying to avoid the belt armor if we can. He's barely creeping. So you can see we're aiming ahead of the belt if we can. And we're going to try to chunk him over and over again. And you can see, when you get the opportunity, you can absolutely stack some damage on people. Now, our reload booster, our last one, has just been used. We're going to go ahead and slap him one more time here. He did fire at us, so we're going to try to get angled. And I will say, this thing does turn decently well as well. So you can really get a pretty solid shot off and then turn in and avoid most of the damage from the enemy if they shoot at your belt. Enemy Yami goes down to our Stalingrad, but our Stalingrad also goes down to their Yami, and then our GK friend here is still just begging for it. We go ahead and chunk him again. I will say this, another good thing about this, much like the Montana, this thing does have very good turret angles for the rear turret. So you love to see that. Now here, I'm trying to figure out who I should shoot next. I'm thinking GK, but then the Alaska's kind of giving him up a little bit. So you can see I'm checking him. I thought he may have beached, but no, he unfortunately must have scraped off the island just enough. But here, we're going to aim high, go for the gun superstructure area, and we're going to get, well, not this one. The next salvo, I think, is when that stupid Citadel appears for the GK. Like, I don't know if anybody else has this happen. I get this regularly. This is why I take these shots on the GK especially. Like, if you aim for the second turret, doesn't matter if they're rear facing you or front facing you. If you aim for that second turret, look at the shot. See the shot, watch the shells, and bonk, Citadel. You can actually get that really consistently, but unfortunately, the friendly Kleber says, no, you're not allowed to have any more fun, Spartan, you've done enough. And he's going to go murder, between him and the Shima, they're going to go murder the last guys here. It's unfortunate, but it is a thing. And this becomes my new personal record for the Bergonia. 228,000 damage done. We get a Confederate high cal, a Dev Strike thrown in for good measures, a First Blood medal. We get radared for no reason. The Kleber is literally charging him, so I don't know why he would radar there, but whatever. Shima manages to hit him with a torpedo, and that just leaves one Shima left, and fortunately, we're not going to have to wait long. The enemy Shima gets spotted, has no hit points, and immediately gets taken out by the friendly destroyer that's in the Alpha Cap. So, let me know what you guys think. Are there ships that you guys have struggled with that you are willing to jump back in and test back out? Maybe you've not given them a fair shake, because personally, this one's starting to grow on me a little bit. 228,000 damage is nothing to shake, or you know, nothing to shake a leg at, and you can see almost 3,000 base XP as well. So let me know what you guys think down in the comments, and don't forget, we're on the path to 50,000 subscribers by the end of the year, so make sure you guys punch that subscribe button, be a part of something great. And if you like what I'm doing, punch the like button, leave a comment below, subscribe to the channel if you haven't already, and as always, I will see you in the next video.